Today's video is the Department 56 Village Accessory Snowboard Hill or Ski Slope. Both of them are the same thing, essentially. I'm going to show you how to change out the rubber band, or the belt, sorry, and the motor. This is how it comes, as two pieces. Most of the time, like the sledding hill and the ski slope, it is just the belt. It is just the belt. So, don't sweat it. Anyways, pop the top off like this. It just comes out. Very easily accessible. Probably one of the most easily accessible ones that I've seen in, I mean, compared to the sledding hill, compared to the rest of them, it's probably the most easiest motor to get to. So, I already started this one and then I said, oops, why am I not filming this? So I'm going to do a little recreation real quick. Okay. So first things first, we have to get out 4 screws that look like this. Yours might be a little different, but really it's 4 screws that are holding this whole piece on. Okay? And then there's 2 screws from here that are holding the motor on. Right there, 1, 2. So, let me back up a second. If it's just the belt, and you can tell this is a new belt, so it's a perfect circle. If it's just this that's needed, you have the easiest job in the world. Take the old belt off and slip the new belt on, and that's it. This one, we are changing out. The motor's still good, but we're changing out just in case. Just, why not? These things are like 20 years old, so, you know, how long does the motor last? Anyways, as we can see here, most of these motors have a capacitor, a 104 capacitor. You can reuse this one, or you can get a new one on Amazon. You can get like 50 of them for like $4. They're crazy cheap. But first thing that we're going to do, if you don't have a voltmeter and you don't know which direction things are supposed to go, test your old motor, okay? Before you take it off, make sure you test it. Most of the time the motor works, it's just really, really slow. So, easy way to test it, obviously, plug it in, see which way it goes. So this is going in this direction. By the way, this is the same size motor, the same specs of motor for the sledding hill and the snowboard hill and the loading the sleigh and the Lego forklift and a whole bunch of other motors. But the hard part is getting this off. Supposedly you can use a pliers or a screwdriver, but if you're doing this a lot, invest in a pulley puller, because man, watch this. So line up your pulley puller. Now, of course, because I'm filming, Murphy's Law is going to happen. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Okay, so I've got them lined up. See that? And now I twist, and what it's doing is it's pushing, it's pushing the pulley up off of the shaft. Alright, So it's already working. It's already starting to push it down. Okay. From there, you might be able to get it off the rest of the way with pliers. Might. I'm going to use my other adapter. There we go. For this. To get it the rest of the way. These pulley pullers, by the way, if you're doing this a lot, they're great and save you a lot of time. But they only last maybe about 8 to 10 of them. And then they bend and they break, the little inserts that go in there. So be mindful of that. Here we go. Okay. This is another version of it. I use the other one to get it started and get it up all the way. However, the little insert that it came with isn't small enough to go through this pulley, or the hole of the pulley all the way. And this size pulley puller does have one. So there we go. Bam. Now, make sure you get your new motor. Ooh. This is definitely a different size pulley than is on a lot of the other ones. Okay, so now to get it off, because you just forced it onto the shaft, you gotta use some force to get it off. So all I'm gonna do is turn to get it off of the shaft of the pulley puller, and there it goes. Before I do that, I should have measured exactly where it is on the shaft. Is it up high? Is it down low? Usually they're always about perfectly in the middle. Doesn't matter which one it is. So we have the new motor. And same thing, I'm going to ride on it the same direction that I want it to turn on. So again, if you don't have, looking at the old motor, which by the way, old motor is perfectly fine. That's the direction we want it to turn. So now using my soldering iron, I'm going to take off the old wires. There we go. There we go. Simple, simple, simple. You can reuse these. You can. It's just basically like a piece of ceramic. However, I have one that came with the kit. These motors you can get from happyholidaysparts.com. They've done the research for you, so you don't have to. The whole kit, depending on the motor size, will be about $30 or $40. It's worth it, so you don't have to search it out. So, doesn't matter if you put positive to negative or negative to positive when it comes to this capacitor. Put it through the little holes. Let's try that again. put it through the holes and then bend upwards a little bit, just so it's easier to work with. You don't have to do it like that. That's what I do, just so it's a little easier to work with. Okay. And voila. See what I mean? Easy to work with, not easy to work with. Oh, hold on. Now, before we do this, get your pulley on the shaft. You don't want that little resistor in the way when you're pushing and clamping it down onto the shaft. Here's the easy way to clamp this down. Very easy. So go little by little and perfect. It's in the middle. Look at that. Now we can put our capacitor on. Okay. So from here, if you have, what are they called? Helping hands. Use them. I don't need to. But now we're going to put we're going to solder that on there so that they stay. I'm doing this before I test the direction of which way the motor should go. I've got my soldering iron, and something I like to do for this, just for this is not the correct way to solder. Okay. Is because it's going to melt so much easier to the end of my soldering iron, and then I'm just going to drag it onto there. That's one way. Or, in correct soldering fashion, you're supposed to heat up the wire, and you heat up whichever part it is, so for example that, and then you touch the soldering to that metal. It's good for wires and stuff like that. Now I want a big glob there, and here's why. Remember, you're not just soldering this together on there, but you got to do the wires too. So you're doing a little 2-for-1 special on there, so a big glob just works. There we go. Okay. Put that down for a second. Let's connect the motor wire. Usually they have a line on here to let me know which one is positive and negative, but this one, no. Alright, first try. So, positive is over there. And just to make sure I don't mess this up, if you can't see, use a marker and label which side goes with which. Yeah, simple, yet effective. And then don't mark the other side, because you know, if it's not that side, well, not very camera camera friendly. Stay. Alright, now let's solder the motor together. Like I said, this one is super, super fast. Most of the other fixes take me about a few hours altogether. This one, because the motor's so accessible, it's so easy. Alright, now what I like to do here is also get a big glob to here. There we go. And this side already has the glob. Okay. So as we can see now, we're going to touch them together, the side that are labeled. I'm going to melt both sides and stick them together. Like so. See? I want a little bit better connection than that though. There we go. Beautiful. And now the other side. Ay, ay, ay. All for the camera. Sure you got a good connection. Yep, beautiful connection. Okay. And now we put it back together. So let's line up our two holes right there. Put our screws back in to mount the motor to the mounting plate. Let me test this one more time just to make sure. Yep, everything turning in the right direction. Alright, now I'm going to put the new belt on. And voila, that's it. And now we have to put this back on. Let me zoom back out real quick. Okay. Some things are just easier with a person. To to help hold it there in place. But anyways, put your 4 screws back on. Make sure you get a, gosh, having a screwdriver with a magnetic end, so helpful. You drop these little screws, and not fun to find them. Oops. And last one. And now it's ready. That simple. That simple. Put it back in to here, and you are done. Let's see how to go, shall we? Okay. Drum roll. By the way, there's a lot of glitter on these things. Clear them out of the way if you want to make sure that this stays nice and not damaged. Because every time the skaters pass over with glitter, it kind of has a little abrasive effect. And that's it. It works beautifully. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos, let me know which thing you would like me to repair next. So Department 56, North Pole series, or animated pieces.